The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the rugged landscape as we trudged deeper into the heart of the forest. My friends and I had embarked on a weekend hiking trip, eager for adventure and the chance to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. Little did we know our excursion into the wilderness would become a nightmare beyond imagination. The first day went by without incident. We set up camp beside a babbling brook, surrounded by towering pine trees that seemed to whisper secrets in the breeze. As night fell, we gathered around the crackling fire, swapping stories and roasting marshmallows. But as the fire dwindled and the forest grew quiet, an unsettling feeling crept over us. It started with a distant rustling in the underbrush, too rhythmic to be mere wind. We brushed it off as the nocturnal activities of woodland creatures and retired to our tents. I awoke to the sound of whispers, soft and insidious, weaving through the fabric of my tent. Heart pounding, I strained to make out the words, but they were nothing more than unintelligible murmurs. Fear clenched my chest as I realized the whispers weren't coming from outside the tent, but from within. Tentatively, I unzipped the flap and peered outside. Moonlight filtered through the trees, casting eerie shadows that danced across the forest floor. My friends' tents lay still, undisturbed. I shook off the creeping sense of dread, chalking it up to an overactive imagination, and returned to my sleeping bag. Just as I began to drift back to sleep, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I scrambled out of the tent, heart pounding in my ears. The campsite was a scene of chaos. Tents were torn apart, belongings scattered haphazardly. But there was no sign of my friends. Panic set in as I stumbled through the darkness, calling out their names into the void. My voice echoed back at me, mocking and hollow. Suddenly I froze. Amidst the cacophony of night sounds, I heard it. The whispering, louder now, swirling around me like a malevolent fog. With trembling hands, I fumbled for my flashlight and shone it into the darkness. What I saw made my blood run cold. Figures lurked among the trees, their forms shifting and indistinct. They seemed to melt into the shadows, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. Terrified beyond reason, I turned and fled, crashing blindly through the underbrush, branches clawing at my skin. The whispering pursued me, growing louder with each step until it felt like it was inside my very mind. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out beneath me, collapsing in a tangled heap on the forest floor. Hours must have passed before I dared to move again, the forest eerily silent around me. Dawn broke like a benediction, casting a golden glow over the landscape. I stumbled back to the campsite, half expecting to find it deserted, a figment of my fevered imagination. But there they were, my friends, huddled together in a terrified embrace. They recounted similar experiences, whispers in the night, figures lurking in the shadows, but none could explain what had happened. We packed up our belongings in grim silence, eager to leave the nightmare behind us. As we emerged from the forest, I cast one last glance over my shoulder, half expecting to see those shadowy figures lurking among the trees. But the forest was still and silent, as if it had swallowed our ordeal whole, leaving us with nothing but a lingering sense of dread and the whispered promise of horrors unseen.